These new stainless steel squares from JessEm rival Woodpeckers quality and are not as expensive. Check it out. So the packaging is fairly basic on these, just a cardboard box, non-colored. I don't think Woodpeckers is anything fancy either. You're not talking like Apple iPhone level packaging where it's just all smooth and pretty and all that stuff. I don't mind that because it saves a little money there, but it's nice packaging. Everything's well kept and all your details are on it anyway. Kennedy. Oh, nice. So these are in a carrier or an MDF style secure board that you can use to either hang or keep in a drawer so that these things stay nice and protected while you're not using them. It's impressive. This is really cool. It has a very cool feature, actually a couple of very cool features I haven't seen on any other square like this. First and foremost, this is a stainless steel blade on here, so you're not going to have to worry about that rusting. And they are nice in the hand, like they feel like good quality tools. They're also extremely accurate. These are all three square to 0.002 of an inch through the length of the blade. You're not going to need any more accuracy than that in woodworking. And I said 3 because there's 3 sizes here. You get a 6, an 8, and a 12 to choose from, or you can buy all 3 or any combo of the 2. If it was me, I would probably buy the 6 and the 12, but if you need the 8-inch, go for that too. All of these measurements are laser etched on both sides of the blade, and those are accurate to 0.004 of an inch through the length of the blade, so extremely accurate. Now these squares have 2 very unique features that I haven't seen on this style square. They may be out there, I just haven't seen it. First and foremost, they have this new technology that they come out with on their rulers, which we'll talk about later. It's called Flex Grip. Now these little lines on here actually feel grippy. Now the reason they feel that way is because of how they laser etch onto the blade. It feels like sandpaper, but it's not. It's literally etched onto the blade, so it's not going to come off. When you press down on that, it keeps this blade from moving on you. So if you stick it in place and just put light pressure down there, then your square's not going to move. It's where you put it. The next feature is one that I absolutely love. I think this should be on every square ever made from here forward if they don't have a patent. This is what they're calling a balancing tab. I love this. So simple. A little tab just pops right out of the base of the square and it balances itself. I mean, who don't love that? So now, if I'm working on the edge of a piece of sheet good or a board or anything like that, this square doesn't fall over. When the balance tab's off, it falls over. But now, it literally balances itself on there, and you can use that to also help you when you're scribing lines. So it is helping you index the edge of that board, so no more trying to fumble with trying to keep it up against the board while you're scribing the line. And this is perfectly in line with that blade, so it's going to lay flat and level. Another great thing they did here was they started the measurement off on the bottom, right here on this side, starting at 0, going to 1, 2, 3. Same thing on the flip side. And then on the inside of the square, they did the same thing, starting this off at 0. Not all squares that I've seen have done that, and it always just made no sense to me, so I'm glad they did that here. And they have the scribe holes every 1/16 of an inch on this blade, and those scribe holes have a point to them so that your pencil lead gets right up in there to that point to make it more accurate. Speaking of pencil lead, I'm using the Pentel Graph Gear 1000, the pencil I always recommend, because I keep it right there in my pocket. There's nothing not to like about these squares. They come in a nice case to keep them in if you want to keep them in a drawer or hang them up. And those cases have a magnet on there too to hold them in. So if they are tipped forward, they won't fall out. The bigger the 12 and the 8, if you turn them upside down, they'll fall out. But if you hang them on the wall, which is what that's meant for, it won't fall out. It's going to stick in there so that you can mount these on your wall or throw this in your drawer. See, the little baby square don't fall out. I also like that the base is wide enough on these squares that they will set up on their own. And where that's useful is if you want to use this to set up your blade heights and bit heights at the saw, the router, or anything like that. It's always handy to have that like that instead of just a thin blade like an old carpenter square or something like that. That's why these work much better, or one of the reasons they work much better in a workshop versus the old carpenter square. Now comparing the JessEm to the Woodpeckers, price difference, this is less expensive than the Woodpeckers by a decent amount on all of these squares, but on this square specifically, we'll pop up on the screen the current prices as the time of this filming. But there are some similarities and differences both here that I like on each, just to give you a fair representation. So one thing that I noticed immediately when I got the JessEm in was the fact that these markings are much easier to read on my eyes. And I'm getting older, and it ain't getting no easier to see. But these are just duller, and these stand out a lot more, contrast a lot more. And the JessEm square does again have that grip technology. It does have this blade that sticks out, but the Woodpecker square does also have a similar blade that runs down the base of the square, which I really do like. And it does have this end gauge square or scale that I also really like. So that's two of the main things I like about this Woodpecker square. Other than, of course, it's accurate. It's red, it's awesome. I'm not gonna say it's not. But the JessEm is also awesome in its own way. They both have the scribe holes. They are both extremely accurate. There's just a couple of minor differences there depending on which you prefer. If you know someone or a group of someone somewhere online that would enjoy seeing this tool video, be sure and share that with them. But before you go, hit that subscribe button, or you can check out that next video. I think you're gonna like it as well.